crazy adventure. What?
No maps, no prior knowledge, just me, my bike, and a goal. Complete a 50-kilometer journey to Clevedon and back in 4 hours.
You're supposed to go under here.
But as I entered this dark tunnel, doubts began to surface. Let me share a story with you about a cycling adventure that took me out of my comfort zone and reminded me of why it's such a thrill to go out and explore. You see, after weeks of cycling the familiar Bristol to Bath path, I felt the need for something different. I wanted to challenge myself to feel that spark of adventure again. So I decided to embark on a solo ride from Stoke Gifford to Clevedon Beach. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Clevedon Beach. A place I'd never been before. I didn't know what the roads would be like, whether there would be cycle paths, or if I'd been navigating through countryside lanes. But that was the point, right? To embrace the unknown. So I set out quite late, to be honest, around 6 p.m. because it was the time of the year where, you know, the sun takes a long time to go down. You know what I mean? So sometimes at 10 o'clock it's still bright. So I set out equipped with my DJI Pocket 3 and Action 4 cameras, ready to capture the journey. It was early July, so I had the advantage of longer daylight hours, but I knew I needed to cover as much ground as possible before darkness set in. As I pedaled through various terrains, smooth tarmac, gravel paths, and winding country roads, I felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. I was excited about the journey, but at the same time I was a bit nervous because I was going so far away from home on a path I'd never been to, and it was late in the day. So I kept going, and then I encountered a long dark tunnel. The entrance was unassuming, but as I ventured inside, the darkness enveloped me. My bike lights barely pierced the darkness, barely pierced the gloom, and the echo of my tires on the damp floor was the only sound, and my fast breathing too. I kept asking myself, what had I gotten myself into? Wondering if I'd made a mistake, and also a bit anxious that if I eventually got to Clevedon Beach and it was getting dark, I'd have to still come back through this dark tunnel. It wasn't something that really excited me. As I emerged from the tunnel, I found myself in a cemetery. It was eerie, to say the least, and reminded me of the loneliness and the solitude of my quest.
So I'm on an adventure ride to Clevedon Beach, and I'm a little bit anxious because it looks so far away and some of the cycle paths seem so quiet and lonely, and there's still this part of me that feels like it's late, it's going to get dark, and not sure how safe it is riding back on this lonely path. First time cycling all these kind of paths in the UK, so I mean, ordinarily I shouldn't go alone, right? I should go with someone. Well, the good thing is that we've got internet, we've got maps, we've got energy, got a good bike, good tires, everything looking good so far. So just a quick word about preparation. Anytime you plan to do something, preparation is so key. I think it's the best way to prepare for something or plan for something is to have a checklist, because if you have a checklist, you most likely not forget anything. So one of the things I didn't check was the space on my memory cards, because I brought out my DJI Pocket 3 to vlog with, only for me to run out of memory card space, so I can't use it again to vlog. That's why I'm using the DJI Action 4 now to vlog. And when I get to my location, if there's time, I'll try to delete some old files and create space so that I can do some more talking head vlogs and talk about the trip. All right.
I pushed on. I got closer and closer to Clevedon. I kept on crunching the miles, but I noticed that fatigue was setting in. My thighs were burning, and I was moving slower and slower. And with about 5 miles left, the roads became steeper and narrower. There were no longer any dedicated cycle paths, and I had to be more wary of cars coming behind me. My legs were tired, and I started to worry about the return journey. What if I had a mechanical issue? I was alone, far from familiar territory, and the sun was beginning to set. Weighing my options, I decided to turn back. It was a tough call, but safety comes first. The ride back was slower, each pedal stroke a reminder of the challenge I had undertaken. But despite not reaching the beach, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I had, after all, pushed myself. I had ventured into the unknown. I'd pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and it felt good again to feel the passion for cycling. So my friends, if you ever find yourself in a cycling slump, or any kind of slump, consider taking a detour from the usual routes. Consider trying something new, something different. Embrace the unfamiliar, challenge yourself, and you just might rediscover the joy of the ride, or even, in fact, the joy of life. Stay safe and keep pedaling. Don't forget to subscribe. More videos to come.